We are here with our worksheet for section 10.4, and we're on the second worksheet, and we're at question 2. It says a class has 5 freshmen, 7 sophomores, 11 juniors, and 3 seniors. A team will be selected consisting of 2 students from each year, so 8 total students. And how many possible teams are there? So as we read the question, we want to look for some keywords, and we want to try and think about first breaking down, do we have multiple events? So how many events are there? If we think about this one, some keywords we see is ultimately we're selecting a team. So what we can recognize is a part of this question. If we're selecting teams, that's really just another name for a group. So at some point in this question, we're going to be doing combinations. But as we take a look at what we need 2 students from each year, so freshmen, sophomores, juniors, and seniors. I'm going to have to pick those students separately. I'll have to first pick freshmen, and then sophomores, and then juniors, and then seniors, because they're all coming from different groups of people, so I can't count them all at once. Instead, I need to count them separately. So really, we have 4 events in this problem. So as we start to work through it, let's start to write out what these would be. So when I pick freshmen, well, really, I'm picking a team of freshmen. So what that would mean is I need 2 students from the 5 freshmen, but they're just a group. So we're going to use a combination to count them. So we've got a combination. From the total of 5 freshmen, I need to pick 2 of them. And then for sophomores, again, we're picking a group of sophomores, so we'll use a combination. From the total of 7 sophomores, I need 2. From the juniors, there's 11 to pick 2 from. And for the seniors, there's 3 to pick 2 from. So notice that this one is a lot like the farm question where we've got the one that had like the cows and the goats and the sheep. We've got different sets or categories of people that we're choosing from. So we have to do each of those separately, but in each of them, we're just picking a group. So we use combinations. Now at the end, with all of these events, we're really using sequential counting to put it all together. So sequential counting principle is then going to say at the end, we're going to multiply all of these. So let's go ahead and I'm going to do those combinations as some side work. So let's do, say, the combination of from 5, pick 2. So that's going to look like 5 factorial divided by 2 factorial. And then 5 minus 2 is 3, so 3 factorial. So then we're going to start to write out 5 factorial, which is 5 times 4 times, we'll stop at 3, and put a factorial on 3 to indicate the rest of the 5 factorial. And then we've got 2 factorial, 3 factorial. We'll cancel out those 3 factorials. So we're left with 5 times 4 divided by 2 factorial, which is 2 times 1. 5 times 4 is 20. 2 times 1 is 2. So in total, we've got 10 there. So over here, what we're going to end up with is we've got in that freshman blank, right? 5 choose 2 we found was 10. So now let's look for our next combination. We've got combinations of from 7 choose 2. So we're going to have 7 factorial over 2 factorial, and then 7 minus 2 is 5, so 5 factorial. So then that's going to look like 7 times 6 times, we'll stop at 5 factorial so that we can cancel those 5 factorials out. So then we've got 7 times 6 divided by 2 times 1. 7 times 6 is, let's see, 42. divided by 2, which means we're going to be left with 21. So my next blank is going to be 21. And then we're going to have combinations of 11, choose 2, so that's 11 factorial, divided by 2 factorial, and 11 minus 2 is 9, so 9 factorial. So we're going to have 11 times 10 times 9 factorial over 2 factorial, 9 factorial. We'll cancel those 9 factorials, so we're left with 11 times 10 divided by 2, which 11 times 10 is 110. Divided by 2 is going to be 55. So then here we've got 55. And our last one, combinations of 3. Choose 2 is going to be 3 times, well, 3 factorial, we'll start at the beginning. 3 factorial times 2 factorial, and then 3 times 2, or excuse me, 3 minus 2 is 1, so 1 factorial. So with this one, we just end up with 3 times 2 factorial over 2 factorial, 1 factorial. So we just cancel those 2's and we're left with 3 over 1, which is just 3. So we've got the number of ways to pick the freshmen was 10, the sophomores was 21, juniors was 55, and seniors was 3, so 10 times 21 times 55 times 3 gives us 34,650 ways. So that's the number of teams consisting of 2 people from each class.